Hello and welcome to Randoms. We are back with the episode 6 of season 5, Idlozi Lami. Here we have lot to discuss. And I think it is important to actually have such conversation, and more for those who are cultural, for those who do things in a cultural way, and also maybe for those who are Christians, and perhaps there will be certain things that are common in this discussion, Emil. I will try by all means to express myself as much as I could. Greet our people and let us roll.
Hi guys, welcome back to Randoms. My name is Emily and this is Mr. Anonymous. We are chilling with you here today, trying to bring a subject that is very sensitive. It's extremely sensitive. So if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, hello, how are you doing? Thank you so much. We appreciate you subscribing to this channel.
Yes.
And also like the video if you like this kind of commentary. Share the video if you can, and we'd really appreciate your support in that manner. Now, we are taken to Nelspruit. In Mpumalanga.
Yes.
And Nomfundo Khoza wrote to Idlozi Lami saying that her sister passed on in 2020. Now, she says that her sister comes to her dreams and she's telling her that it seems as if there's someone who is trying to use her spirit. Now, wherever she is, ubanjiwe. She wants to connect with her paternal and maternal grandparents. Those are the ancestors over there, and they are not happy with how she arrived. She said she was congratulated for arriving on the other side when she was transitioning. However, because of what she did, they were not happy about how she arrived. So Sis Tembi comes in and enters the yard and introduces the spirit of the sister. This is Nomfundo Khoza's sister, who passed on in 2020. Now, cause of death is that she deleted herself by hanging. She did it in the garage, and she doesn't want to enter her home, or rather her spirit did not want to enter her home at that point. Now, the reason for this is because she felt emotional abandonment from her parents. So she doesn't understand why now they are summoning her, because before she did what she did, her parents did not care for her, is what she was saying.
Yes.
And they were not emotionally paying attention to her emotions. So the sister came with the maternal grandmother, or the spirit of the maternal grandmother, and she gives them the reason. She said there was lack of attention. She had to compete for her parents' attention and loneliness as well. Nomfundo also confirmed this, that days before she actually did that, she was extremely lonely.
Yeah.
Now, she asked her mom, Uguti, if this was a happy home, then why did I end up doing what I did? And she also reiterates that she doesn't blame her parents for not wanting to talk to her. She also says, I owe my mom and dad an explanation, and I want to apologize to them. There's also a picture of her in graduation attire that they have brought, and they put that picture on the chair, and she looked like a young woman who had so much to offer.
Yeah.
She was studying at UJ psychology, social work. She was doing her 3rd year. And in the middle of doing her 3rd year, she dropped out. She started being tormented by spirits. She would scream and say, I see blood and see things. And her mom can attest to this. She says she used to visit her sometimes because she worked at TUT. Now, TUT is like in Pretoria and UJ is in Johannesburg. So that's like a town-to-town type of traveling that she used to do to check on her. And she says that sometimes when she did go to
Was
visit
that her mom?
Yes. Wasn't it her mom?
I thought it was a sister or something.
Oh, it was a sister.
The mom was not there.
Or the mom did not want to arrive. So that sister is the one who actually was sitting there with Nomfundo, and she was the one saying that she used to travel to go
She
and
was
see
also
her
studying at
at TUT. Okay. Yeah, that's it, Mr. Anonymous. Up until this point where they disclosed that she actually never worked, she never had a job. She did an internship. And that's as far as how she went. Now she is very frustrated wherever she is because she was told hard work pays off. Why is it that she worked hard and it never amounted to anything?
There are many things to look at here. I think as people, you need to use this as an example of what as people we face here. Because to sit and say that we are ignorant of the forces that are working in the dark side, it will be wrong, because such then is a proof that there is really forces that are working against us as people to actually stop us from doing what we are supposed to do here in this world. And even the Bible does support that in a sense, because when you come here as a person that God gave something to, but when you have to realize those things that God has actually created you for, you find that there's this blockage that is not
Making
allowing
sense.
you to actually do what you need to do. So in this case, this woman was actually in that situation, and when we are in that situation, you need support.
And her coming back without a degree and feeling like her parents were disappointed. Same thing with graduates having to go back home and still start from scratch and look for a job. Some parents are not patient.
It troubles me. I mean, we are in this situation sometimes because of our parents, but we cannot blame them directly, obviously, in this case. It is important also to look at, because our parents, as they are doing well, they tend to assume that their kids will do well, and they put that pressure and they exert that pressure to their kids. And maybe yes, the kids are like you, they have your genes, they are smart and all that, and maybe also they were born to succeed, but there are forces now that you need to fight with as a parent to allow and enable those kids to do so. So in this case, we see this woman that has passed on not because she was dumb, because she was the smartest woman apparently. She was doing well, but she just had to drop because of the situations around her. It should have rang a bell to the parents that it can be that our kids is seeing blood and all that, and we are still cool with it and we are chilled. We are not
And
doing
you
anything.
don't do anything. It's very strange. Okay, they say that she was on the other side and her grandmother showed her what actually happened. There was something that was planted in the yard that hurt her, making sure that the children in that yard do not amount to anything. So the root of all of this is jealousy and jealous neighbors. They knew her capabilities, they knew where she stayed and her family. And bafunga ukuthi uzofana nathi lozobuya. So the fact that she went to UJ, a lot were not happy about it. And they made a promise to whatever dark forces they serve that she will come back. Now, she says she used to dream of things sleeping with her and whispering to her just before she took that decision that she took.
Those are, I mean, as I said, there are spiritual forces in this world. And more if you're not belonging somewhere where your side of spirit is not filled, this is where the spiritual forces get a chance to get into you. And they got into her. That's why they could whisper to her, because one, the yard was not protected by anything. I don't know, maybe not even by God, or not even. It was not safe. So if you are going to succeed, do it, but remember that there are people who are looking at you in that way, that you are embarrassing them. They feel that you need to be like them so that they can relate to you. They do not look up to you so that they can do good things. So in this case, that was the case. So she ended up taking her life.
And she said she's not tabulat, meaning that they didn't take her spirit to do bad with it. She's just in a spiritual jail. She's spiritually locked because of how she decided to transition. And that is because she ended her own life.
It is true. When you take your spirit, when you take your life, you are separated. It's exactly true from the people of your family. You become jailed spiritually to that side wherever you are, but you are not with your family exactly. They can see you, but they don't want to associate with you. Basically, in Zulu, we would say ungcolile. You are dirty and you need to be cleansed. And the people who are supposed now to do that are people that you left back at home. So those who are still living, they need to slaughter. They need to clean and ask for forgiveness on her behalf so that she can be freed. So in a sense, she was right, the sister, to dream about her being taken away or tebuliwe or
ubanjiwe. That's what she said.
it is true because she is not moving forward and she's not a progressive ancestor. She cannot be associated with living people or even associated with dead people. She is in her layer where there is nothing other than her. So take her, imagine her as a person in no man's land, sitting there accepting that I did this.
Yeah, she did confirm that she can't connect with her loved ones on the other side. And ubuza umama wakhe ukuthi, why did you doubt me? It seems like her mom did not care. She had accepted everything, her and the position that she's at, the spiritual jail, that she has accepted it. If you're going to work hard and not change your environment, then it's pointless. That's what Sis Tembi said regarding the jealousy of the people around. Maybe around your community, maybe around. Sometimes you must be willing to just relocate for the sake of your children.
Yeah,
especially if you found out something like this is happening.
If you are not gonna do anything in your yard, if you are not gonna make sure that you protect it spiritually, then at least move. But that moving also in this case was not going to help because it was already done.
It was moving with her.
So it was moving with her.
To UJ.
Yes,
it was still there with her. Wherever she went, it was going there with her.
It was a spiritual, would say, security. It was always there with her. Isolating her, making her see things, making her feel resentment, rejected. And then so by not being there as a mother, not supporting her, then you enabled that thing to actually take charge of your kid. And as painful as it is true.
Uyaphinda futhi System Beauty, if the township is harming us, then we must move to another level. When you see a child disorientated, then consult to see what is going on. And if the case is what it is, then consider changing the environment. She poured sea salt where she had committed this.
Yeah.
And she's saying she's pouring it because the mom never cleansed that place spiritually. So people now are attempting to take her spirit. They want to summon her spirit. So every now and again, they sit there, maybe at night, who knows, and they attempt to summon her spirit. Someone wants to use her spirit.
True, and they stand a chance, obviously, because she's in an empty empty side. There is no protection at all. She is freely available. That's what I talked about this other time. That a spirit such as this one is freely available to anyone. They can use it as long as they know the name. They can go call you and wake you up and do their own things. And by the mother not cleansing, probably these people they studied the family. The family does not practice certain things, so they know exactly what they are doing and they know what they have not done. So by not cleansing the place, because one, she's just living on the edge. She has allowed those people, and the father also, she has allowed they have allowed those people to actually come here, and they can actually recreate this thing to do the same thing to the other sisters.
Oh my God.
And probably the other sister is feeling it this much and being able to connect. It should scare the other sister that she's able to connect to someone who did that. And that tells you that they are actually, because it even says it, that the spirit says it, that I'm also afraid of you guys.
For you guys.
So there's something that needs to be done. The mother was supposed to be there. Unfortunately, she was not there.
She was not
But
there.
in my thinking, that's what I'm looking at. And that situation, you are not supposed to connect with people who took their life.
And the way she was so emotionally affected when she was told to speak. She just broke down, you guys. She just broke down and she cried. And I was like, oh my God, she is walking the same path.
She could be. She could be walking the same path. And our people need to realize and go back to their culture. You need to cleanse the area where the incident took place. More so if it's someone who did this. It could be that someone was shot. You also need to cleanse that. You also need to cleanse that body of that if you took your life. And in that process, if someone took their life, you need to punish them.
You need to beat them.
You beat them up so that thing stops.
And Barry, you don't just beat them. You beat them and you sort of like you tell the spirit to not be there. To you cancel the spirit. You are speaking with Christian. What do they call it? You are confessing.
Yes.
You are telling that spirit to
never do that thing again. Don't repeat this thing.
It's not welcome in your home.
Don't repeat
kick
this
it
thing.
out.
Don't repeat this thing. Like the way you are beating this body, you say, don't repeat this thing. Don't repeat this thing. And then they stop. Even when you catch people trying to kill themselves and they're still alive, you do the same thing.
You do the same thing.
You beat them and tell them not to do this thing.
Tell them not to, because you are fighting this. Remember, our warfare is not carnal, but mighty through the hand of God. Kind of what the scripture said. So it means literally that we are fighting spiritual battles.
Yes.
So someone who thinks of doing that, it's more spiritual. And all of them, listen, all of them always say, I heard voices. I hear voices. I hear those are spirits that should not be in them.
And they shouldn't be able to get into their head.
Yes.
But unfortunately, then we get to be the way our culture and our spiritual life as black people has been diluted. It sort of stops us from doing such things, and then we allow these things to happen. So you would hear people praying that they are breaking the chain. It is exactly what is happening. It is there in our culture. It is there, as you can see. She is Swati, but this is common. What is being said here is really common, because I'm Zulu, but yet we do the very same
thing. Well, guys, maybe one day I'll tell you a story time, because this is actually one of the most personal reviews for me. It's bringing a full circle of wow. these things do actually happen. And I was ignorant of them. I didn't think that that was happening. It's only making sense now that abantu bagangile.
Yeah, you see, you find people not being able to do things as smart as they are, as good as they are in school, but they cannot because there is someone who's working so hard at home. Wherever you are, is stopping you, and when he's got access to your home, it is access to you. And we need to maybe redefine the way we think spiritually. Because when we talk about spiritual these days, it's only about Christian spiritual.
Yes.
This is where the problem starts, because we need to mend and try to find a way of making sure that we are safe. And
You're
you
protecting
cannot
yourself.
you cannot leave your spirit and then say I'm safe here, because you are connected to them.
Yeah, it's
So the
very
battle does
important
not
to
stop.
mend, because even myself, to break that, I remember I needed spiritual assistance
Yes.
in an African context as well, not just Christian. So I feel like that's how it got broken, and I did not, because what I saw, I was like, oh my God, it just became so personal. But guys, share your comments down below. Have you ever experienced something like this, especially if you're from the township? I know it happens a lot. Share your comments down below. Have you experienced it, or do you know of other people who have gone through the similar thing?
It's happening. I know if it's not happening to you, it's happening around you.
It's happening
If it's
around
not
you.
happening to you, it's happening
You
to your
know
brother.
that kid was very smart in school, and now all of a sudden it's like stagnation after stagnation after stagnation after stagnation. It's like they can't get a breakthrough.
Yes,
Some of them have even done the same thing that she did.
exactly. I have a friend also who's going through this. He was a Christian, but now he's non-believer, because this thing took charge such that he was a smart student, and he still is smart even when you speak to him, but he cannot finish studying. As smart as he is, in fact, first year, I think he was averaging a distinction, second year, averaging a distinction. But there comes the time where he was supposed to finish, he couldn't finish, not because he was down, but all of a sudden,
Spiritual
it
warfare
became
happened.
impossible for this man who was getting distinctions to get now even a 50. Those are the things that you have to look at. He had to try twice. It didn't happen. He couldn't study. It just something disconnected.
Hey
When
guys,
we would cross over with him, cross night and do all those things, but trying to motivate him, because we know him from school. I mean, luckily I'm from school, high
With
school
him.
with him. It was very sad. It
It
is
is.
still very sad today, because now he decided now to stay away from Christianity, because it didn't help him. Same as this woman. That's why I'm saying, if it's not you, someone closer to you, this thing is happening.
It's happening.
And you need to know how to break it. And if we can talk and have a conversation, a
About
civil
it and be
conversation,
honest.
and be honest and not lie. Don't lie. Don't come here and lie and sell us dreams. We need to have this conversation to break these things. There are people working against our life and against whatever that we're trying to do. And we need to stop that. And by stopping that, we need to accept that we need to do certain things.
Yes, and to also break the secrecy, break this thing of if your prayers are not working, your faith is not enough. I don't like that. I don't like that, because so much is not disclosed. So much, it remains a mystery. You know, how are you as a Christian? You are flourishing and prospering, and your brethren are suffering. because you have this sacred knowledge that nobody else has figured out. No.
That is true.
Let us have the conversation, talk about these issues, put them on the table so that we find solutions.
And look, Emil, I'm not the one to shy away from admitting. When my things were not working, I realized that it was impossible for me to go the route of traditional way. That's when I called upon God, and by so doing, I confused the person who was working against me, and things happened. I won't lie.
Wow.
But that is not making me deter away from the fact that other things would need other ways of fighting. And I'm not going to lie to you. But as I saw that this person is probably getting whatever they're getting and it's powerful more than what I could get at the time, I was not working. So I needed something that I cannot buy. And something super, something above all the things that are created, and that was God.
That was God. But it was a spiritual guided
Yes,
type
it was
of
a spirit.
war.
It was a spiritual guided type of war.
You were not playing a guessing game.
No. I was not guessing.
You had a manual. That's what I'm talking about.
I started there by traditions, and as I was going to sangomas and yangas
And prophets and stuff.
prophets, they sort of created something in a sense of this is where your problem is. By looking at that, I saw that I couldn't solve it at the time because I didn't even have money. I was not working. That's when I jumped to the other side and said, this side then should be above all.
God.
So that's why I'm saying it was guided by traditional healers.
You can still choose your path.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you. And
Thank
bye.
you for joining us, you guys. Bye.